Okay, Zach, so this is the, I'm going to do a quick tutorial about assignment number 2 in Photoshop because I've been trying to do that with multiple software and nothing is working. So first step of this, this assignment is to, straighten up the image and then warm it up in camera raw filter and whatnot. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to use my crop tool right here, and to be able to, you can grab a corner right here and then you can rotate it, right? And then it shows you how to straighten up the image. Another quick trick is in your control bar, which is between your menu and your image. Right in your image right here, you have a gray bar that has a bunch of tools, and the recording may not show it, but you have a straighten tool that looks like it's actually written right there. It's pretty much in the middle, and it looks like a little level basically for construction. So all you have to do is zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing right there, and find a horizontal or a vertical. So here I want to find the horizontal. I grab the edge of the step right here from here to here, so I have a good control over it. It's about a 5% angle. That seems about right. And just like that, click and release, click, drag and release, and then your image is straight. Here, what I want to do is I want to extend maybe a little bit of the image. I don't care to have much of the road really. But I want to extend, on the right side, I want to extend as much as possible to show as much as possible of the church. On the left, I can't really do that because otherwise I would have to recreate everything. And at the top, again, I want to extend my crop to as far as I can at the top right there. So I'm missing the top of the spire, the left spire there, but that's not a big deal. And I click enter, I accept that. So there's my image is straight, and I can work with that. The other step is to start with a filter right here, and you go into, so in your menu, you find camera raw filter, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4th down from the 5th one down from the top. And that, what it does, it opens up this image. I'm not sure if that's recording again, but it shows up basically a camera raw window with your image right there, and then on the right hand side you have multiple ways to modify your image, and it's basically like almost like a professional photographer's tool where you can change the exposure, you can make it brighter, you can change the temperature of it, you can make it cooler or warmer. The idea is to make it a little warmer so it's not like dead drab winter time. And I'm just going to do a couple of quick changes right there and click OK, and then automatically it changes that image right there. So again, I'm not sure if you've seen that camera raw filter or not. However, what you want to do, what you want to learn about is the patch tool, the clone stamp tool, and the spot healing tool. So all of those will be your friends to be able to erase those posters, the figures, the guys, and fix up the steps and whatnot. So I can start with the clone stamp tool right here. And this is very, very easy because you have a very linear design. So what you have to do is on the Mac keyboard, you have to press your Option key, which turns your tool into a target, and then you will literally clone wherever you put your target. So let's say on this edge right there, that is a nice step right here. I will click right at the edge of the step right here, and then I will move my brush over to the right hand side. Again, it's still selecting the left side there, and then you can see the little plus on the left hand side. That's where my reference point is, and on the right hand side, the circle is where my brush is. And I'm cloning literally wherever that X is, I'm cloning it to the right hand side where my brush is. That's how you do, for example, again, I'm gonna click on this guy's head right there, click on that, and then I have his head at the end of my brush. If I increase the size of my brush, this is it. Again, I can move my brush anywhere I want, anywhere I want, and then it'll still, the reference point is his face. So I can just add literally that guy's head on this guy's body right there, and then or on her face right there. Again, click on it right here, And do that right there. It's absolutely awful looking, but this is how it pretty much functions. So the clone stamp tool is pretty much like a, you know, repairing images type tool, right? And as I said, here you have a lot of very linear designs, you know, vertical, horizontal. So that's fairly easy to line things up. Again, you can click on the edge of that step right here, bring it down here, reduce the size of my brush using the square brackets, and I can just, you know, duplicate that. And again, right here on the left-hand side, and then just gonna bring that over. So it's very easy to line things up with that tool. Another cool tool, if you press and hold your space bar, you get the hand, so you can move around your image, is the patch tool. The patch tool is just above right there, and it's in your spot healing, patch tool, etc. So patch tool right here, the cool thing is this: you literally have the ability to select an area, for example, where that poster is, and you can see the tool switch to a patch with an arrow, and you just click and drag that, and wherever you grab and drag that, I should say drag that selection, it'll fill the area that you originally selected. And you can do that again with those posters right here, very roughly, very roughly, and move it over here. So here you have a little bit of a repeating pattern, right? Because it's the same kind of pattern from the wall being repeated with a patch tool. So this is where your other tool comes into the picture, is your healing brush, your spot healing brush and your healing brush. And the healing brush is just that. You can just roll over like this, click and drag, and then just kind of, you know, clean things up for you. You have multiple options within the tool in your, again, your control bar above your image and between your menu. Right now I have content aware, so meaning it's like whatever is around the brush, it's gonna pick up a little bit of that texture and then kind of blend it in. But you also have create texture, which will mess things up massively. You have proximity match as well, which is not bad, but it's, again, it messes things up. Especially if you have already a texture set up, etc., etc. So you have different parameters of the same tool, again, in your control bar at the top above. So that's pretty much what you're going to use to get rid of all those figures and faces and railing and all that type of stuff. So once you have, you know, the patch tool and the healing brush is really good for textures, right? Like, you know, a ground, a wall like this one, you can just, you know, fill it in and it's looking pretty, well, almost okay, like this. Oop, no, it still picks it up. The clone stamp tool, however, is the one that you want to use to get rid of all those people, right? So again, here you have a very linear pattern or designs, right? Those columns. So again, I use my option click to select my target right there, and then I move my cursor down. As you can see, it's going to repeat that pattern right there. I align it pretty well, and I just click and drag, and it just drags across the columns right here, and then there you go. I'm ghosting that guy right there. So the danger of that tool is if you get a little too close to what you want to clone. So if I'm, let's say I want to clean up this area right here, and I'm clicking on that right here, and see if I bring my brush a little too close to my reference point, and then I start to clone, and then I get that pattern, right? So I don't want to have that. So try to avoid that stuff, right? So always pick an area right here, for example, further away, you know, when you line it, mix it up, and then you pick something else from this wall on the left-hand side and bring it here, right? And you can just, you know, patch it up and make it a little blotchy. And so again, same thing here. Using the square bracket, I reduce the size of my brush. You can always right-click, and you can change the size of the brush manually that way, as well as the hardness. That's a little bit large. Here, what I want to do is I want to keep it hardness to 0, so it's very soft edges, right? And then maybe increase the size a little bit. And what I want to do, undo is Command Z. What I want to do here for the railing is the same thing. Again, horizontal lines everywhere. I click on my reference point right here. I align it right here with my other rock. As you can see, it's at the tip of my brush. I align it, it's easy, it repeats a pattern. And as I move my brush over vertically, the whole thing disappears. And same thing for the railing at an angle right here. So the idea is to, you know, try to be as precise and as clean as possible, basically, right? Because you're trying to, you know, make it look like the real thing, right? So there's your quick tool on how to do this. Now remember what I did earlier, I kind of cropped the top of my Spire right there. It was not exactly super happy at the very top there. What you can do here for this particular one, especially to fix the sky right here, again, I will increase the size of my brush using the brackets, and I click a reference point right here in the sky, and then I just, you know, brush it in roughly. Doesn't have to be pretty. I'm just adding a little bit of blue here. And same thing in the upper left corner, right? So it's a pure white sky, so I can just, you know, click right here, use a really big brush, and I can change again in my control bar at the very top. You have the opacity and the flow of your brush. So I'm going to reduce it to, let's say, a 50%, and then you can see that brush is way too big now. Now it's going to be very light, right? If I increase that to 100%, it gets a little darker. I get to the edge of my image right there. That's why it's a straight line. You know, and I can just, you know, blotch in some sky. Again, pick an area, bring it in. There you go. I have a little bit of sky. The problem I have right here is, again, the spire, right, that it's missing. So what I will do, I'm going to cheat on this one. I'm going to use the lasso tool. I'm going to select, the polygon lasso. So it's a selection tool that you're able to do just that. As you click multiple times, it can select some weird shape. And this is a pretty geometric shape. So what I want to do is I want to grab the spire right here quickly. I'm just going to do that very roughly. Right there, double click, it's selected. And I'm again, I'm in my background image, right? The original image right here, right? And I want to just copy that, so I can use the shortcut, so Command C, or go under Edit, go copy, and then paste. So you can, again, same thing, you can do the right click right there, you can copy paste. Oh, no, you cannot, not with this tool turned on. Go under Edit and then paste it. What it did is it copied that selection that I had done, like the spire, and then it pasted it into a new layer in the exact same spot. So I need to use my move tool right here, or V to change my tool. And then now I can move it around. So there's my spire right there, and it's right here. So all I need to do at this point is go under Edit, Transform, and then you go Transform, Flip Horizontal. And I just flipped it right there. I can zoom in again just to see what I'm doing. And then again, there's my spire right there. It's not exactly perfect, but there, it did the trick, right? So again, your clone stamp, your spot healing is for textures, but the clone stamp tool is definitely how to erase those people and put them out of their misery, so they're not frozen in time, just like that. That's pretty much it.